Today we're going to use the slope and the y-intercept to graph lines. Now, the first set of directions is going to ask us to graph each line given the slope and y-intercept. So they're going to give us the slope, and they'll just say slope equals. However, I'm using the variable m for slope, and I'm telling you what that is. Now, remember the slope is the rise over the run. And so another way to think of the slope is that it tells us what to do in the y direction. So you're either going to go up or you might end up going down. So either up or down, and then for the run you're either going to go right or you're going to go left. So you're going to do one of those two operations, either up or down, and then either right or left. And that's what the fraction, that's what the slope is going to tell you. So you're going to want to keep this as a fraction. The slope is a fraction. But you're always going to start at a point. And so we're going to start at the y-intercept. And so that's the key on these problems. So I came up with about 5 problems here, some examples to show you. So let's take a look at this first one. Here, again, first thing we're always going to want to know is the slope is a fraction. So we see it's negative 5 over 1. So off to the side here, I'm going to write that as a fraction. M can equal negative 5 over 1. So what that tells me is negative 5 tells me I'm going to end up going down. Positive 1 tells me I'm going to go to the right, because positive numbers are going to go up or to the right, depending on whether it's the top of the fraction or the bottom of the fraction. So again, up is positive, down is negative. Right is positive, left is negative. So we got to always start somewhere. We're going to start the y-intercept at positive 6. We go 6 spaces up, and that brings us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right at this point right here. 6 spaces up, and we're going to use the slope. Now the slope is negative 5 to 1, so this is going to tell me to go down. So I'm going down 5 spaces. So I count those 5 spaces, and then this positive 1 tells me, since it's positive, to go right. So I go down 5 and then right 1. And I can do that again. Down 5 spaces. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1. And then I've got a few points that allows me to draw the line. So the nice thing about this method is that it gives you the opportunity to draw lots of points. So you can make nice lines. And it goes a little faster than the x and y intercepts because there's less work to do. You just understand where to start the line and then use the slope to draw it. So here's another one. This is already a fraction, so we don't have to redo this. But this negative 1 tells me I'm going to end up going down again. So down, but then the positive 4 tells me to go right. So let's start with this, positive 2. So I go up 2 spaces. Again, you always have to start at the y-intercept. You've got to have a point to start at, and now you can use the slope. So slope's telling me to go down 1 and then right 4. So down 1, right 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do that again. Down 1, right 4. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I ran out of room, but it'd be somewhere off here. Well, as you can see, the line's going in this direction, downhill from left to right, or uphill from right to left. Now, we could go the other way. See, I could treat that slope, negative 1 over 4, as positive 1 over negative 4. And sometimes it's important to be able to do that. So let's do that. So we go up 1 this time. This tells me to go up. But then here, this negative 4 tells me to go left. And so up 1, left 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do that again. Up 1, left 4. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm off the graph, but somewhere right around there. So there we have it. Lots of points that make up that line to be able to draw a line through. And from there, arrows at the end showing that it goes on forever. Now let's take a look at this next one here. Here we have a decimal form. Now we want this in a form that's a fraction form. So I'm going to rewrite that as a fraction. You can either write it as 5 tenths, because that's how you say that number. 5 is in the tenths place. Or we could write that in the reduced form, which is 1/2. And so we'll use that 1/2 for the slope. Now this is telling me to go up, and then it's a positive 2, so I go right. And from there, I'll go ahead and start at my -1, so I'm going down 1 space. But then from there, I'm going up 1, right 2. And since this is a small slope, small numbers, I can do it a bunch of times. And see, it kind of makes stair steps. Now I can go the other way. Now remember, this is the same thing as -1 over -2. If I went down to the left, I'd end up on that same line. See, down 1, left 2, ends up on that same exact line. And you can do that a bunch of points until you ran out of room. And that's good because it gives us lots of points to be able to draw the line. And we'll need that later on when we solve systems of inequalities and graph the solutions. We'll need this concept. So those are a couple of problems. Here's another one here. Another fraction as the slope, and that's good. It's in this form. So you always want the slope written as a fraction. So if it's a mixed number, that wouldn't help you out. You always want it in the fraction form. Improper fraction form is fine for this. So we've got to start somewhere. We'll start with this +2. That's the y-intercept. And we'll use the slope to graph the rest of the points. -3, 2. So this tells me to go down 3 spaces, and then I'm going to go right 2. So down 3, and then right 2. Down 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. Gives me some points to draw. Now, we could also go the other way. So remember, -3 over +2 is the same as 3 over -2. Doesn't matter as long as we have just one negative. See, up 3 spaces, left 2 gets me on that same line. Up 3, left 2. And then from there, again, you can sketch in that line. Be able to draw a nice long line through all those points. So this is a nice method. It gives you a chance to come up with lots of points to draw the line. And it also is a little faster, again, because all you need to know is the slope and the y-intercept. Well, one more problem here. This time we have a different situation. So this one is a slope of 0. Slope of 0, well, we'll see what that does, but we got to start with the y-intercept. So let's start at +1. So I'm going to put a little dot there. And then the slope of 0 means you're not going to go up. You're not going to go, you can go over, but you just can't go up. You can't go up any direction. So it's just going to be a horizontal line. And so when you have a slope of 0, we can write 0 as any type of fraction. This could be written as 0 over 1. It could be written as 0 over 2. It could be written as 0 over -2. It doesn't matter what that number is. It's just going to be a horizontal line. So whenever you get a slope of 0, you're going to draw a line that goes through the y-axis at whatever the intercept is. So in this case, y equals 1. So the next type of problem that we're going to end up seeing is one where we're given the slope, we're given a point, but not the y-intercept. And we have to write the equation in slope-intercept form and be able to graph the line.